So, yes, TV company Efir was like a local Hollywood. What, you have corpses under the counter? Yes, the bear was shot. So, Перехват really shows the truth.
Оля, привет.
Good afternoon, Olga. I'm very happy to see you. Me too. So this is 100% Tatarstan. That's how our project is called. And in this project, we tell about various sides of our life, of our republic. We tell what's very good and what to do to make it even better. And as you are one of the faces of our TV, that is why it's very interesting to know your opinion and your impression on what's going on at the moment and how to make our life better. So let's start from the very beginning. Do you remember how it started? Do you remember how you started to work for TV? Of course I remember. In 1996 I graduated from the journalist faculty. That was the 5th year of my education, and I decided to start thinking about my future career. So a lot of people were working for newspapers because Efir TV company was local Hollywood. We considered that it's impossible to get in there. Really? I think in 1996 it was easier. No. Efir was just in the very beginning. It was a new TV channel. I think TNV didn't exist at that moment. Yes, so the head was Ilshat Aminov, and I was told that it's worth trying, and when you're young, you're always, you're courageous, and I decided to try, and I met Ilshat Yunusovich, and he said, okay, try, and I started to listening to the news about the accidents and different incidents in the city, and I started working there, and I got used to it. And I managed to stay, and I do not regret that. Thank God I stayed there for 1 year. I was not allowed to read my own text because he said I need to work with my voice, so I took some classes. So he kept you in the shade. Yeah, that's what we do with the youth, even now with our young employees. And it's been 25 years. It feels like it's yesterday. It has been yesterday. And why did you start working in Перехват? Well, Перехват was later. First I started with Город program. I was a reporter for social topics and different reports, and after that we created the program called Перехват, and they said that they need an editor, and I was at that moment experienced enough, and I was assigned to lead it. Because in 1999 in Kazan we had a lot of shootings going on. Well, in Kazan even 1998 it was the same, but I remember in 1999 there was 1 week in May when every day there were some shootings, all these news about shootings. I remember that some were discovered in the news, but they also said that we need to create a separate program because this program called Город, City, was all about the shootings, started to be all about shootings. So that's why we created a separate program for people who are interested in these criminal aspects. And as you can see, it's still interesting for everyone because it was very popular among the audience. Yes. So at that time, we could show what we wanted. Dead people, blood, for example, the shootings at Mozaika Cafe. Yes, I remember that. So now, according to the legislation, there are some limits, restrictions, and I think it's right. We cannot say names and the addresses of these people. We cannot show their faces, and it's in a delicate way at the moment. So what are your impressions? For example, you go to the crime scene and corpses. You are a young woman. How did you manage that? Well, honestly, it was not me. It was our cameraman. I was an editor. I was processing all the information. But yeah, well, that's how we saw romantic. Yeah, those were the times, tough times. And I think now, if there is some kind of a murder, it's big news. Well, at the moment we have some domestic violence, murders, and at that time it was these criminal groups trying to split the territory, and by the end of 2000, all these crime groups were eliminated. But in Pirihvat, I think mostly the conditions of work are very tough, because all these crimes, they happen at night. So all the people working for that, how did you manage? Well, honestly, when people after that switched to other activities, they said that they still cannot sleep at night, because they got used to working at night. People adapt to everything. So our objective was to tell more about this dark side of things, about the night, things that happen at night. So that's what we did. So when was the first time that you felt popular, when people recognized you at a store? When I started work at Pirihvat, I understood that people are watching us, and I started to be recognized. For example, once I went to the bakery to buy some bread, and the head of the shop came and he said, "What are you doing here? Do we have a corpse under the counter?" So that was the time when I understood that people see me as something negative. I said, "I just want to buy some bread. That's all." Yes, so do you feel irritated, or is it helpful? Mostly people are very nice and very delicate. Sometimes they ask for an autograph or want to take a picture. Sometimes some company said, "Let's go and have a drink," and I said no, and they thought, "Oh, you got cocky. You have a crown on your head." Yes, they were not happy with me not wanting to have a drink with them. Well, that's funny, but mostly people are very polite. And on a daily basis, for example, you make a call and you say, "My name is Olga Lavrova." Yeah, sometimes people recognize me by my voice. So if you need a plumber, people are coming right away. Well, sometimes it's very helpful on a daily basis. Yes, it's an advantage, because people treat me like a famous person, and honestly, it's not like I'm too proud of that, but sometimes it's helpful in a queue, for example, or if you need a discount. And have you ever faced any criminal situations by yourself in your personal life? Well, not like that, not in a scary way. Just small stuff like a car accident, but it's not a problem. Did you call the team of Pirihvat? No. I never tried to get advantage from my official position, but yes, there was a car accident, for example, and also I suffered from the shared equity construction. Yes, the company. So I invested money, and the house is still not built, and it's been 15 years, so I know that these people, they are punished already. So at the end, when this person got to jail, did you feel satisfied that, yeah, this person that lied to me, and now this person is in jail? No, I did not feel satisfied about that. Well, yeah, but now it's fine. I have an accommodation. I have a place to live, of course. So how did the world change during these 25 years? The main thing that got to your mind, the way people worked before, well, despite the fact that we were just young, but if you compare, you know, as our teacher said, that we are like puppies in the meadow jumping around. So what is the main change?
Well, remembering those years, I remember that at the Department of Journalism, the most modern thing that we had there were two photo cameras. So you have to take those photo cameras, take your notebook and pen, and just go. That's it. And now, not a long time ago, I went to the Department of Journalism, and they have everything now. They have the studio, they have all the equipment. They are equipped with everything they need. Even regional TV channels will envy them. Well, not probably now. Regional TV channels, they have also everything they need. Thanks to the President of the Republic of Tatarstan, our regional channels upgraded their studios. Yes, but I mean that today, modern students, journalists, they can use all those opportunities. They can just go and do reports. And back in the days when I was a student, it wasn't like this. And back in the days, we discussed those reports, and everybody knew last names of reporters. All people discussed the issues they talked about, discussed in their reports. Now, in modern times, every person is media himself. Everybody has gadgets, everybody has social nets profiles, everybody shares their opinion. For example, back in the days, in the past, we couldn't get any comment from like police officers or prosecutors. Now they are ready to give comments. They comment each situation, everything that's going on. I also pay attention that in this stream of information that we get from everywhere, I'm not talking about different state bodies and authorities. I mean just standard, normal users. They are bloggers, they feel they are bloggers, and you have to understand what information is true and which one is false. And I guess that those representatives from media become leading media who can do this. Everybody comments everything. There is a lot of false information. Not a long time ago, we got a piece of information that on a highway, the bear was hit by a car, and one of our team members started publishing that news. But I had doubts that this information was true. So we checked that, and we found out that it happened a year ago in Amur region. And some user just decided to publish the false news because he wanted to get more likes from followers. So it's very important to identify which information is true and which is false. Yes, that's right. And you have to follow only those media that you can trust. What about your TV show? Do you try to follow these principles? Yes, of course. Not a long time ago, well, one of the viewers came up to me. Well, he was a bit drunk, but anyway. And he came up and said, you know, I love your TV show because you tell the truth. Well, I think that we are not the only TV show that tells the truth. I think that Gorod TV show as well, they check all the information and so on. And what about your social nets? Are you on Instagram or any other social net? Well, I have an Instagram, but I'm not an active user. Why? You could have had a lot of followers if you were developing your Instagram. Well, many people ask me that. Why don't I have and don't develop my personal account? Our TV show has Instagram account, but my personal account, well, I don't think that it's a good idea to, you know, demonstrate about myself, to tell about myself more. Now people post everything, food they eat, they inform everybody about the death of their close ones, about scandals, quarrels they have with their boyfriends, girlfriends. I don't like this, you know. I try to limit my own space. Tell about your relations with police authorities. when you just started your TV show many years ago, they were very nervous that they have to interact with media. And how were these relationships developing? We passed several stages. First of all, we shooted everything we wanted. We even left traces on the scene of the crime. We did everything we wanted. But then we had another stage. They didn't let us go anywhere, but they gave certain comments. They understood themselves that they had to interact, to cooperate with media. Now it's another stage already. This is like a compromise nowadays. If we come to the scene of the crime, we try to be respectful towards experts, and also police authorities understand that they have to give comments so we can use them for our TV shows, for our programs. I guess this is a true compromise, you're right. And what about criminals? Have they changed? Yes, I would say they have. As I've already mentioned that back in the days, that was carve up of territories, business, and so on. Now it's completely different. It's more about robberies. For example, during the lockdown, people, they lost their income, they didn't have money, so they just went to the shops and stole goods from the shops. And many police authorities, police officers said that they couldn't even identify those people. So I can say this is kinda an acid test to understand what problems we have in economics, what economic problems we have, what social problems we have. Or murders, for example, when a wife murders her husband because he didn't get enough money from work. And I'm really worried about that. People curse a lot, and I pay attention to that. People are becoming sinful, I would say. Their relationship, their attitude to everything has changed as well. People think that they have to take everything from life because tomorrow we're gonna die, all of us. That's what I can say. That's what I see, because there are many drunk people in the street, many drunk drivers. Yes, and what about elderly people? Many people, many criminals, they just use them, stole from them, rob them. Yes, this is just insane, because those people, they come to like 90-year-old elderly lady or a man, and they say to them that it's going to be a monetary reform, so we can help you to change your money to new money. And this is just incredible, because if police authorities are able to find those criminals, it's okay, more or less, then they get their money back. But what if not? How can a certain person get a job on your TV show? Is it possible? Well, yes, of course this is possible. The specialized education is a priority, I would say, but we also get different candidates, not only professional journalists, and I can say that based on my experience, some of them are even more talented than those who graduated from the Department of Journalism. Okay, and another question. What about the profession itself? Is it as prestigious as it was before, or the attitude has changed completely? So the profession of a journalist is not that popular nowadays. Well, I think that TV will exist forever. Everybody's talking that now we have internet and we don't need TV, but I guess this is nonsense. Previously, they said that we have cinema, so we don't need theaters, but this is not true. Theaters still exist, and there are still people who go to the theaters. And we try to get feedback. We organize that feedback from our viewers. And I think that it's very important for those who work on TV channels, who work in media. It's possible to be a good journalist, a good reporter, only if you love your job, if you are interested in your profession, if you are doing your best to make a certain report, to make it interesting for the viewers. Okay, Olga, and what about you? You've spent like 25 years working on that TV channel. Didn't you want, in some period of your life, change everything, change your job? Well, I'm a lucky person. I'm a happy person. This is my formula of being happy. I love my job, and I go to work every day with pleasure. And the good thing about my job is that every day is something new, something different. In the morning, we make a report with the participation of the president, and in the evening, we make a report about homeless people. Yes, and that's our life, isn't it? Our life is about everything, about president, about homeless people, social problems. Yes, and that's why I'm never bored at work. Okay, we have a series of short questions for you. Short question, short answer. What will change in 10 years in Tatarstan? I don't know for sure, but I guess that the region will develop successfully. Absolutely sure about it. And Tatarstan will surprise the rest of the world with some good deeds. Good. What is your power place in Tatarstan? Well, for me, it's probably the Kremlin. If it's some symbolic place. If we are talking about some personal power place, then I would say that's a place where my family and my work is. The TV channel as well, that's my power place too. What is Tatarstan powerful of? Well, I think the most important thing that's these are people. Multi-ethnic environment, multi-religious environment. And another thing is probably our sport teams. And these are people too, I must say. Okay, what lacks Tatarstan? Well, a big smile. Because we've made a huge breakthrough, innovations, we develop innovative technologies, but seems like people are kind of depressed, so we lack smiles. We have to smile, because everything is good, everything is perfect. Oh yeah, especially after we watch your criminal TV show, we'll understand that everything is going to be all right. Okay, if you were forced, if you had to leave Tatarstan, what would you take with yourself? Well, I guess a book with recipes, Tata cuisine recipes. I guess that people would like to use and to master those recipes in any place around the world. And also a lot of pictures of places from in Kazan, parks, squares, and so on. Okay, your tip for young people. To be honest, I myself need advice, tips, recommendations sometimes. But to be serious, I think that I would recommend them to follow advice and tips of elder generation. They can be primitive, they can be obvious, but while you are young, your brain is able to absorb all the information. It's about everything: driving, learning foreign languages, dancing, singing, painting. Maybe it's not going to become your profession, your vacation, but your life is going to be more interesting for sure. The higher standards you set, the better results and achievements you're going to get. And what would you like to get from young people?
I like
И легкости на подъем, и креативности. Вот даже иногда я думаю, как вот сделать вот тот или этот сюжет. Спрашиваю наших молодых, они говорят, а вот так можно повернуть, или какую-нибудь техническую фишку, или еще какое-то, думаю, здорово, как это, да,
кайф,
молодцы,
свежо,
да,
свежо.
как это свежо, да. Мы-то что-то иногда вот консервативными такими бываем, академическими какими-то, а у них раз так, раз, и у них так все могут они.
Отлично. Если бы у тебя было несколько жизней, где бы ты их провела?
Я бы их, наверное, не в географической, вот если лучше дать плоскости, а во временной. Конечно, в Средневековье я бы, нет, наверное, не хотела, но вот где-нибудь в 19 веке на балах бок о бок с Пушкиным, или во времена Возрождения, когда Ренессанс, когда в почете были искусства, или где-нибудь в Древней Греции среди мифов и легенд. Я хотела бы в разных временных рамках.
Круто. Ну и скажи, о чем был бы твой первый указ в должности президента Татарстана?
Наверное, как любая девушка мечтает, чтобы Международный день 8 марта был не днем, а неделей.
То есть ты бы сделала неделю, женский день.
А потом бы я, наверное, проснулась.
Все, указ о праздновании женского дня 8 дней. Ну, тебя бы
7, хотя бы 7.
Хотя бы 7.
На 8 даже.
Феминистки бы тебя не поняли, но здорово. Олечка, спасибо большое. Очень рад был с тобой пообщаться. Всего хорошего и удачи.
Спасибо большое.